How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. We also got to put in the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. So today we're going to be talking about OCGN. But before we get started, of course, we got to go over the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below in the description. Also, if you are a shareholder or you're considering to take a position, then I highly suggest you watch the entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is an article that recently came out in regards to Covaxin and overall production. I think this is key to know because later on in this video, I'm going to be asking some questions that we expect to actually see from OCGN in regards to an update. But hey, we'll go into that a little bit further. And then we're going to be checking out Fintel. I told you guys this yesterday. Everything has been updated. The weekend is here, so we have all the information taken into consideration the close of Friday. And then when all of that is done, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts. So let's get into it. So we're going to go over another recent article that came out today, and this is in regards to production. Covaxin production takes 4 months' time. Bharat Biotech explains why. Amid the concerns regarding availability of Covaxin doses, Bharat Biotech on Friday said the timeline for manufacturing, testing, and release for each batch is 4 months approximately. The company further noted that the entire process is complex and multifactorial and requires coordinated efforts from several agencies. Bharat Biotech in an official statement said the timeline for manufacturing, testing, and release for a batch of Covaxin is approximately 120 days. Production batches that were initiated during March this year will be ready for supply only during the month of June. There is a 4-month lag time for Covaxin to translate into actual vaccination, it said. The manufacturing, testing, release, and distribution of vaccines are complex and multifactorial processes with hundreds of steps requiring a diverse pool of human resources, the firm said in a statement. For vaccines to result in actual vaccination of people, highly coordinated efforts are required from international supply chains, manufacturers, regulators, and state and central government agencies, it said. Production scale-up of vaccines is a step-by-step process involving several regulatory SOPs, GMPs, so standard operating procedures of good manufacturing practices, Bharat Biotech said. Based on Central Drug Standard Control Organization guidelines, all vaccines supplied in India are mandated by law to be submitted for testing and released to the Central Drugs Laboratory Government of India. All batches of vaccines supplied to state and central governments are based on the allocation framework received from the center, the company said. The timeline for vaccine supplies to reach the depots of the state and central governments from Bharat Biotech's facilities is around 2 days. The vaccines received at these depots have to be further distributed by the state governments to various districts within their respective states. This requires an additional number of days. Production of Covaxin will be doubled in May and June. Meanwhile, the center on Friday announced that the production of Bharat Biotech's Covaxin will be doubled in May and June, news agency NI reported. Union Health Ministry said the current production capacity of Covaxin will be doubled by May-June 2021 and then increase nearly 6 to 7-fold by July-August. It added from 1 core vaccine in April, it will be 6 to 7 core vaccines in July and August. It is expected to reach nearly 10 core doses per month by September 2021. Some unfound reports on unaccounted vaccine doses of Bharat Biotech having 6 core doses is an error of comprehension. These reports are incorrect and are not supported by full information on the matter, the ministry said. So it was great to get this update in regards to production for Covaxin. The fact that it takes 4 months time is something that we do need to take into consideration. But another thing that we also got to take a look at, they are ramping up production overall in general. But here they talked about, hey, there's a lot of moving parts in place. So we got to think about the fact that when Ocugen gets the formula, right, we already know that Bharat Biotech is going to supply them with the first initial doses. Is Ocugen going to be able to make sure that they can get the right manufacturing and things in place so they can produce it for the US? This is something we have to keep our ears to the ground and look out for more development developments coming from Ocugen in regards to contracts and how they're going to have things in place so Covaxin can flourish in the United States. So we're going to be taking a look at the institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information for OCGN. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So we could see right away, taking into consideration May the 28th, which was Friday that just passed, we have XBI going in and they have just under 5 million shares with 4.9 million. We also have Schroeder Investment Management Group going in with 130,478 shares, and we also have AIEQ Power Equity ETF going in with 172,751 shares, and this is Friday alone. So this is definitely something that is great to see, and institutions are bullish on OCGN. If we take a look now at the short interest information, short volume ratio is significant at 35%. We tend to look for 21% or higher, and hey, it's at 35. If we scroll down on the page, short shares availability is at 150,000, and we look at the short borrow free rate, it is at 5.93%. So that is significant there. So if we take a look at the short volume ratio history, it is definitely high. We can see on the 27th, it was at 18.11, and now on the 28th, which was a Friday close, it's at 35. So taking this into consideration, and this is also the highest it's been since May the 17th, what the market is actually telling us that the price needs to come down. So the market sentiment is negative. But do keep in mind of the fact, since it does have short squeeze potential, when that catalyst does come through, like they said, we were expecting to hear something sometime in June, we can end up seeing some serious moves in price action. And what this will do, this will force short sellers to cover their positions, thus show us some big time moves in overall price action. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, what we see, institutions are loading up on this stock. Do keep in mind, we're going to be getting a big time update sometime in June. So I know a lot of them are actually playing on that opportunity. Who knows? News could come out on June 1st and they're probably saying, yeah, hey, I need to be prepared. Also take into consideration of the fact of the short volume ratio. It is well above 21%. So what this tells us, there's definitely some short squeeze potential in OCGN stock. But also what we need to understand that the market sentiment is negative. That's the reason why there's a lot of short interest in the first place. So if we do not get any news and this continues to again just trade sideways, then we're going to have some pullbacks going into that $7 range and possibly even $6. But what I feel personally, I feel like there's going to be a lot of FOMO coming in. I know there's going to be more buying volume, especially as we go into June. So I believe it should be able to hold up that support like we spoke about in the previous video at $8. Again, this is pending on catalyst in news. If we end up getting that big time update in regards to the EUA, we already know that stock price is going to be going to the moon. It's going to be getting close, and I'm expecting to all-time highs. But again, hey, we just got to be patient, right? Now, in regards to the article that we went over around Bharat Biotech and Covaxin, and then talking about how it could take up to 4 months to actually put it together, what my question is for OCGN, what type of manufacturing, what type of contracts do you have in place to ensure that it's a successful launch for Covaxin in the US? It's going to require a lot. And part of the reasons why I went over that article and I shared it with you guys, we need to know, we know on Bharat Biotech's end what measures need to be put in place. We also do know that they're ramping up production due to the pandemic that is going down in India. So as far as for the US market, especially after the first initial dose from Bharat Biotech, I'm very curious to know how is Ocugen going to make sure that the launch is successful? What's going to be in place? What deals are going to be done? As investors, I feel these are questions that you need to know and also be aware of. Am I saying that they're not going to be able to pull it off successfully? No, I'm not. But I do believe as far as investors and shareholders, it's good that you get some sort of an idea as far as what those plans are. I do understand on the fact that, you know what, they want to kind of hold on that a little bit and kind of get that EUA out the way. That is completely understandable. But these are things that you should be keeping in the back of your mind. Because not only is this capital intensive, but they need to make sure that it's done under the same conditions that will be approved by the FDA under their guidelines. And this is part of the reasons why they had to do that capital raise, and they did it twice. They did it 2 times since this year started. So that's what we're going to be looking forward to make sure that they're using that money wisely so they can ensure the success of Covaxin. As we know already, their main core business is eye care in regards to curing blindness related to diseases. So taking all of this into consideration, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to keep you guys informed. I feel that I want to make sure you're in the know, and if you are a shareholder, you know exactly what you're holding and you know the company that you are investing in. But for the most part, we're going to continue to have some patience. They said that we're going to be getting an update sometime in June, so I'm definitely going to be looking forward to it. But like I said, it was great to share this article with you guys due to the fact to know that, hey, what does it take for them to actually develop Covaxin, and what processes and what measures need to be put in place? So hope you guys found this video helpful, and we'll be talking real soon.